Jiro here from Umbra Games with a review of Gravity Rush Remastered on PlayStation 4. Previously released solely on PS Vita in June of 2012, Sony Computer Entertainment took this cult classic and brought it to the big screen. Available digitally on PlayStation Network, and also a small run of physical prints were available through Amazon when it released in February of 2016. I, however, didn't know this at the time. When I heard Gravity Rush 2 was released in January of 2017, I thought I'd check and see what this was all about, only to find no new copies available anywhere, and eBay sellers were asking $180 to $300. I did a quick search on GameStop to see if there were any traded in, and I got no results within 100 miles. I started plugging away in random states and finally found one about 3 hours away in Wichita, Kansas, and the employees there were extremely helpful, happily shipping it to my local store. After discounts for rewards and such, I ended up with a $28 price tag. Now in Gravity Rush, you assume the role of a young blonde lady who wakes up next to a cosmic-looking cat in an alley, interested in following her, and discovering that the proximity to the cat gives her the ability to change her immediate gravity. After helping out some locals, they give her the name Cat with a K, and while some don't like the shifters as they're called, most citizens celebrate her as a hero. Gravity storms have ripped the city of Hexville apart, and Cat meets an old guy that directs her on how to put it all back together. Now, the gameplay can look a bit confusing to onlookers, but you put Cat in zero gravity by tapping R1. Reticle then appears on the screen, and upon clicking R1 again, shifts Cat's gravity in that direction. You have a meter in the upper left corner that shows how much gravity power Cat has before needing to land and recharge. Once Cat goes into freefall, you can use the left stick to change the course a bit, grabbing gems or avoiding enemy fire. Enemies come in the form of Nevi, shadowy creatures that have a spherical core that glow like a weak spot. While on the ground, Cat can perform kick combos and do an evasive roll. Some of the Nevi cores are located a little bit higher, and while Cat can jump and then kick without a lock-on, it's actually very difficult to land blows, thus forcing her to take to the skies and perform the gravity kick, which usually offers better results. That's not to say perfect results though, as even in zero gravity, I suppose a lock-on would have just taken away the challenge of all combat. You will see a white reticle appear after you press the gravity kick button, but it will often hit when it doesn't look like it should, and sometimes the reverse. There are also a couple of combat situations where the camera felt like an enemy itself, especially with the swordfish-looking Nevi that squirm all around and attack you from all angles. But you'd really expect in a game where every surface is a floor would have more camera issues than it does. Now, I'm not going to say at all times I easily maintained orientation and had a clear view of my goal, but it was mainly on collecting the scattered crystals used for enhancing Cat's skills that were located on the bottom side of bridges or even underneath the city itself. Fortunately, objectives and waypoints are circled in green, so it's generally always easy to go the right direction, no matter the angle. There are a couple of segments where Cat doesn't have access to her powers, and you can definitely tell the team put more focus on utilizing powers, because straight platforming was actually pretty difficult, both in control, grabbing ledges, and telling where you were going to land. And speaking of those crystals, they come in denominations of 1, 10, and 25, and as they accumulate, you can use them to upgrade Cat's combat abilities, her gravity manipulation speed and duration, as well as increase the power of super moves that she unlocks through the course of the game. I think maybe the skills were divided in just a few too many levels though, as 11 increases to your kick without numbers displaying was difficult to tell if it was really doing anything. Same with 11 upgrades to the gravity shift speed. The game's open world, mission-based content is similar to that of Infamous or Grand Theft Auto. Cat has a map that can be viewed from the options, and there will always be a red main mission marker that progresses the story forward. There are 21 missions total in the main campaign, spanning an eventual 4 areas of Hexville, accessed by train or airboat station. Cat can use sewers to fast travel between each district, and the districts themselves also have multiple sewer points, which I actually found kind of comical because it felt like I could almost always fly somewhere faster within a district than I could locate and use that fast travel. In addition to the main missions, Cat can also use her crystal stash to reactivate city machinery and is rewarded with challenge missions. These are races and time combat, and for those, the reward is more upgrade crystals. Each challenge mission has a bronze, silver, and gold ranking, and can be retried as often as you like. If you're going for full completion, this is probably where you're going to spend most of your time. This is the place that I did notice how helpful my skill upgrades were. In trying to obtain some of those golds, a second or two makes all the difference. In addition to the main campaign and challenge missions, Gravity Rush Remastered includes the DLC packs for the Maid, Spy, and Special Forces missions, as well as additional challenge missions for those, probably providing close to an hour or two of extra content each. Gravity Rush uses cell shading to set the tone of this dark world. Now with cell shading, you either like it or you don't, but mixed with the comic book panel cutscenes, I think Sony Computer Entertainment Japan Studio has reached a very pleasing aesthetic. The architecture variety among districts, as well as a well-written game score, creates an interesting world. Now, I'm not fully sure what made this cult classic status. Could just be due to poor US Vita sales, or maybe a majority of the masses don't like the comic book art style this day and age. This open-world, mission procedural action-adventure title features a unique set of player powers, a decent amount of varied content and objectives, well-illustrated cel-shaded graphics, whether you like it or not, an intricate story with somewhat predictable characters, a bit of disorientation at times, very few but very annoying stealth sections, all wrapped up in a unique, beautiful game world. Rated as an open-world, mission-based adventure, Gravity Rush Remastered lands at a 76 out of 100. This is Jiro for Umbra Games. Thanks for watching. Always here for more reviews, cult classic or mainstream. Feel free to subscribe for notifications or follow me on Twitter @Umbra Games.